My name is Herman, and I'm a writer at PopConversation. Here with me today is Andrew. He's the Managing Director of Ogilvy PR Singapore, and he oversees operations in Southeast Asia too. And the thing is that PR is a line often mistaken for its glamour and events. You would have seen a lot of my PR friends and Andrew's Facebook. You'd think it'd be about the parties, fun, and just the booze and the girls and stuff. The thing is that that's partly true. That's partly true, but you do not see the hard work that goes into just making these events happen. Can you just tell me and the readers, right, what is it really like to be in PR?
Okay, well, it's the irony of it is, Herman, you know, you've just talked about events, and here you are at our event, and we've had to make sure that we don't have glasses of wine here. Otherwise, people will just compound the fact that it's all about events and glasses of wine. But the PR industry is probably one of the most interesting industries to be in at the moment, because communications has obviously always been very important, because as a brand owner, I do better, or I differentiate my brand from another in a very competitive market by getting higher levels of awareness. But what's happened recently, because there is so much competition, and because of so much, in some ways, societal change linked with technology, rather than being told what I should buy and told what I should like, instead what I want to do, you know what, I want to be in a conversation like this. And public relations has always been about being in the conversation.
Yep.
So our job, and so people say, so what is public relations? And I always say that it's about conversations, and it's sometimes shaping those conversations.
People would not learn this in schools. It's not in the books. You'd only learn about this after having been in the industry for a substantial amount of time. It does not come neatly packaged in academics.
Well, you know, as with everything in life, the theory bit is very, and the discipline is very important. But then it's just about, a lot of it is about common sense, and it was very interesting because I heard Zuckerman talking about Facebook, and for him, what was the success behind. Well, actually, I think somebody was commenting on what they felt was the success behind Facebook. And it was interesting that Zuckerman studied computer sciences and psychology. So you have, with Facebook, you've got the technical side of it, but you've also got the human dynamic element of it as well. Yeah. And that's what, unfortunately, a lot of the time in business is sort of mixed. So there we are.
One of the difficult parts of PR would be that it's a mix of art and science.
The best public relations practitioners and companies, there is a lot of intellectual property that sits behind anything that the consumer actually sees. So there's been a massive amount of planning. The danger is that there is a lot of ad hocism that goes on. And again, for the brand, when everything's tactical, you can have a tactically brilliant idea, but unless it anchors off of something that's fundamental to the brand and the relationship between the brand and the consumer, you run the risk of having a series of brilliant tactics that may be schizophrenic, and you actually create a schizophrenic relationship between the brand or what you're projecting, between what the brand stands for and what the consumer thinks about you. So behind it, there's a massive amount of strategy, planning, looking at who are influencers around the brand, mapping them out. Because again, the other thing is that in today's world, no company, no brand can afford to waste money thinking, well, I'll try lots of stuff, I hope some of it works. So the way you negate that, the way you avoid that, is by having a very clear sense of what you want to achieve and for your business, and how you're going to measure it as well. And in our industry, one of the things that we're, I think, embracing with far more confidence than ever before is how you measure the value of what we do, and attributing that value back to the business rather than it being just about we're going to do a lot of stuff.
I love how you just encapsulate everything in a very eloquent fashion. And thing is that I'd like to ask you about passion and fire. What is that element that keeps a person going and just doing things and just persisting in what he does until his vision is fulfilled?
It's a brilliant team of people that I've been able to bring together, and who decide that each day they're going to turn up and they're going to be passionate. Because business is now far more about, yeah, you need your super strikers who can score goals, who can run tries and run brilliantly quickly down the touchline or whatever. But you've got to have people working together, blending their skills to create something. And it sounds a little cliched, but to go beyond the individual, combining that individual strength to actually then you create something quite magical and quite different. Now, passion that you asked for, passion's twofold. As a client, the thing that, when it just, and again, just common sense, just think of when you go and buy anything, if you go and buy it and the shop assistant or the garage or whatever it may be takes your money and is passive and a functionary about what they do, you kind of feel a little bit let down. You're paying for something and it's purely been a low-level transaction. The best things in life always require passion, commitment, and that leads to a certain sort of authenticity around what you're doing. So passion has always been very important to me. It's very important to the team of people that we bring together. And that's not only what we project to other people, but it's actually the reason every single day, working the however many hours that we work, and our business is very demanding, you've got to want to come in every day. You've got to want to do what you do. So you've got to be passionate about it.
Let's talk about the people that you work with. What is it that catches your eye? What traits and characteristic of an individual stands out to you?
As I told my son a couple of years ago when he graduated out of university, and he thought that, or a year ago, that he graduated out of university, and he thought, well, I've got my degree, now I get my job. And I said to him, there are millions of very, very smart people like you. You've got to have a story, and everybody needs to have and not an artificial, conjured up, this is something I wrote yesterday story, but something that again kind of grounds them. It takes all of their experience and it says, I might not be able to do that, and I might not be able to do that, but this is what I stand for, and this is what I look for that in somebody, and if I can remember, oh yeah, Herman, he's doing this, and I remember this about him. Then you've got not only front of mind awareness, you've connected with me. Now, so that's one element of it. The second thing is that there are some need for some skills. So, do they have connectivity to the market? Have they been public relations before? Why would they like to be in public relations? What is it that interests them about the job and the career they want to build? But then we at Ogilvy, we have a set of values that are very, very, very important for us. And this is so important to us that everybody that joins the company, however much of a superstar they may be, they still need to exemplify those values. Because if they don't, we're trading off on our culture. And our culture is something that goes beyond the financial success, it goes beyond a single business win, or goes beyond the day. It's the thing that in the good times and in the tough times that hold you together. And one of those values for me that are most important is around curiosity. And if there's anything I could tell anybody that's watching, reading, looking at any of your content, Herman, the world is becoming far. There is my sense is a far. A great lack of curiosity. People are losing their sense of curiosity, and I think part of that is that there is so much information and so much of it we can search, and it presents as answers. But just ask yourself, when you're presented an answer, have you asked yourself why you've got the answer that you've got. How do you get to that answer? And it's that curiosity that goes beyond the things that we're presented with that's of most interest to me as a manager, as an employer, because that same discipline, when I'm having a conversation with people, that same discipline will play through in the way they conduct themselves, the way they engage with our clients.
I would love to thank you for this interview. I'm just very grateful for having been given the time with you to have you share your stories and your thoughts and your feedback around this space and the industry. And who better to tell me more about PR than the managing director of Ogilvy PR Singapore. My name's Herman, and I'm here with Andrew. And I would really love to thank you with a handshake. I do that all the time. It's usually a little bit awkward.
Great pleasure. Very good. I'm delighted you're interested in it.
It's why I am doing such a site as PopConversation, because I do not go to an event for a dog give. I might have at first. I thought it was the high life and stuff, and it didn't take me long to just realize that I really wanted to know the people that are around the event. I thought if I had a site that gave me an excuse to talk to PR people, to talk to almost anybody that I found to be doing such great and meaningful endeavors, right? I just go full steam with it.
Thank you for being here this evening. Thank you for sharing. I'm sorry I hadn't met you before this evening, so it's lovely to meet you. Lovely to have a conversation.
Ditto.
Yeah, there we go. Seriously, thank you very much.